capacitance Cc between the two high impedance nodes, in this case the drain of the PMOS and the gate of the PMOS, and compensate it. This further now adds a little one more pole or much higher Bode plot impact. Generally, we don't only add the capacitance, and additional nulling resistor is also introduced in between the two. And this nulling resistor R is directly related to what is the amount of load current that you are seeing. So now these two R and Cc will act like your compensation circuits to ensure that the load current is less dependent on the feedback system. Now, what are the other advantages of the nulling resistor? So, the nulling resistor has very important benefit. It converts the right hand side 0 to a left hand side 0. Right? The right hand side 0 becomes a left hand side 0. And now this left hand side 0 is used to cancel out the output pole. Used to cancel the output pole. Now this ensures that the system is much stable than the other case. Now to further enhance the impact of the Miller amplification or Miller multiplication, you increase the gain of the error amplifier. So this can be increased by increasing the output impedance. So the output impedance of the error amplifier can also be increased. So how do you increase the output impedance? Two ways. One, you can reduce the current in the output stage. Why? You know that the output resistance is inversely proportional to the drain current passing through a transistor. So you will have this relationship. Second, you can use a cascade output stage. Now we know that when you are using a cascade output stage, the output impedance will become a product of the two cascade stages R01 times R02. So this also increases the output impedance, and with this you can get a much better Miller compensation impact, because Miller compensation has a direct impact on the gain as well as the compensation capacitance value that is present. Now let us look at how the load current gets impacted with the output pole. As mentioned earlier, we know that for Capless LDOs, low load is the challenge. High load is easier. Higher it is stable. So to address this feature, now let us look at what can be done at low load condition. First, at low load condition, we can identify what is the minimum load that is needed to keep the loop stable. Keeping that minimum load is helpful. Zero load is not recommended. Right? So when you are moving the output load, the minimum load also will change. and this helps you in designing the circuits further, understanding how to the compensation. Now, with this information, you get to know that if you know, if you get to know the operation of the LDO, operation of the other circuits on the LDO, or what we call as the LDO load profile. LDO load profile, we can optimize the performance. Let me give an example. If the LDO is driving a digital circuit, now that digital circuit, we will get to know when it is going to get enabled and when it will need the power supply. So right before that particular timing of the digital circuit starts, we can start bleeding the LDO. What does that mean? Bleeding the LDO means slowly taking load current out from the LDO such that you are able to drive the amount of amount of current needed for the digital circuit instantly. So this is one of the simple techniques that people use. Another thing people use is, if you know the load profile beforehand, you can add an intermediate load stage such that instead of having a large single jump, say from current I1 to I2, you can have an intermediate current, say I3, before it goes to I2. That way the jump in current is not high and the need for capacitance or the excess capacitance is reduced, because you need to understand I is C dV by dt, right? Another thing is, you also understand what is the change in current. L di by dt is going to be the induced voltage. So if the change in the current is not high, then the amount of droop that the system will see also will be lower. And if you change a smaller voltage change, the current also will be easier to handle.